Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. I'm Ayse Hogan, the visionary and founder of IAUSM, the International Academy of Universal Self-Mastery, and the host of I Got This. Today, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be speaking to one of our authors from a book that we have put together, a collaborative book with over 40 authors called From Bottom to Top. And really what this is a story of when each of us reached the bottom, whatever that meant for each person. The bottom, when those moments where you felt raw, those moments where you felt exposed, naked, didn't know what to do next, where you felt like you didn't know where to turn, and how you made choices, decisions that changed your life forever and has you now moving towards your top, whatever that means for you, moving into a more successful and fulfilling life, whatever that means for you, and wherever you are on your journey, you're on your way up. So today we're speaking to Mila Finley. Am I saying that right, Mila?
Yes.
Great. And she is joining us from Ohio in the States, and she is one of our authors. And Mila, I'm so glad that you decided to be one of the authors from Bottom to Top. It was a great idea. I thought it was such a great idea when we were speaking about it with the publisher. I just didn't know how it would go, and it turned out really amazing. And so first, what I'd like to do is if you could just tell us a little bit about you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I am, first of all, so excited to be a part of this book. When I saw the opportunity, I knew that it was meant for me. So I'm an anxiety and trauma transformation expert, and as an intuitive wellness leader, I help young women with childhood or relationship trauma and panic attacks to feel relief, find happiness, and live more fulfilled lives. What I'm most passionate about is just guiding people toward finding their inner strength, overcoming their hurdles, and living their absolute best life.
That's amazing. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. Were you doing this work before you hit your bottom?
Absolutely not. I had no self-worth, absolutely no self-worth. I didn't see myself being anything. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't think I had the ability to do anything.
So a lot of us feel that way, and a lot of us has gotten there. I know I have. So a lot of us have gotten there. So the one thing I'm going to ask you right now is, besides hearing about the book, what was it that in you that kind of said, yes, I have to tell my story. I want to be a part of this book?
I've always been a natural born teacher, just talking about everything. But I think we're all natural. We all naturally tell people about the things we love. And I loved what I became, what I've become. I loved the transformation that I saw that I was told was not possible for me. I was told that I was broken. I was told by doctors, they sent me away saying I can't help you. I'm done. They gave up on me. Everybody gave up on me, but I didn't give up on myself. And knowing that it was possible to heal from something that I thought couldn't be healed. Everyone told me couldn't be healed, and I healed. I was like, I have to tell people. I have to tell people that no matter how broken you think you are, we are amazing. We are resilient. We can heal from anything.
That's awesome. Thank you. And I love your passion in that. I really do love your passion in that. Now, I think that really, here's the question that I think a lot of people who are experiencing this or feel like they're moving, into their bottom or already are there. How did you know? How did you know? What were the signs that said, okay, I'm in trouble? What were the signs that said, I'm at my bottom?
I think for everyone, I know that the signs are different and you'll just know. But for me, my panic attacks had got to the point where I could not stop thinking I was dying. I could not stop thinking and feeling that I was dying. I couldn't stop visiting the hospital, and they would keep telling me, you're not dying. We've tested everything. You're not dying. And I'm like, I'm sitting on that bed but I feel like I'm dying. Where am I going to go from here? Where am I going to go? Because no matter where I go, I can't escape myself. And it's in me that something is wrong. There was so much that I had to heal. But it was in that moment that I was like, something has to change. I have to try a new avenue because the doctors aren't helping me. Nobody is helping me. I have to help myself. I have to get determined and do this for me, for a life, if I want to become anything.
Wow. And you know, I want to say kudos to you for still, after everything that you've heard around you, that you said, you know what, I have to do this for me. Because how old were you when this was happening, Mila?
Oh my gosh. I've had many of those moments, but the worst one was just a couple years ago after I had my daughter, and the postpartum was just too much.
Right. And some people will take another avenue out, which has been on the rise, especially since COVID. So I'm so glad that you were there for you and for your daughter, and you just kept on going no matter what anybody else said.
She is what kept me going.
You know, and everything
100%.
happens for a reason. You know, if we think about it, there's always a reason.
That's my favorite line. Everything happens for a reason. And I really believe that I wouldn't have got through it. I wasn't alone. It wasn't just me. Like, I was divinely guided. My angels brought me the mentors that I needed to get to the next step. And I believe anybody who gets determined, anybody that's ready for that, their angels will bring them that next step too. Just got to open your mind and be open to the opportunities that come across.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Mila. I'm going to ask you another question. Now, we're hoping that many, many readers, of course, listen and read our books, and from bottom to top. So I'm going to ask you a question here. If I was a reader of your story, what's the one message? What's the one lesson that your desire would be that I would get?
You're not alone in any of your struggles. None of them. I think one of the main words I would have used to describe myself as a kid would have been alone. All the time. I felt so incredibly alone, and I thought that nobody else was experiencing my struggles. But what I've learned over the years is you are absolutely never alone. Anything you have, someone else has. Anything you feel is too awful, too miserable, somebody else has overcome. It feels impossible, but it is possible. So just giving people hope that they can heal. You can heal, you can grow, you can live your best life, and you deserve it. Everyone deserves that.
Awesome. And I'm going to ask you one more thing that I wasn't going to ask you, but now I am, because I just love I just love it. And we're not really going to talk too much about your story, because of course we want everybody to read it. But what was the first thing you did? Like, so you know, you're at the bottom. You had to change a choice. You had to change something that you were doing that was keeping you there. And what do you think was that? What was that thing? What was that first thing where you said, okay, I've got to do something different than I've been doing? What was that?
It was going from Western to holistic medicine. Like, I had such a blocked mind. I realized I had such a closed mind. I needed a perspective shift. So I just threw down the books this way and picked up new books. You know, I started taking courses. I started getting mentors. I realized how incredibly important it is to have a mentor and a community that is like-minded. I was surrounded by people that weren't like me. And so that is the first thing I would tell anybody is, like, if there's anything worth your time, get somebody that has a like mind to you. Go on Facebook and look up holistic, whatever you're trying to heal, and look at their videos. See if you resonate with them. Find the person that you just feel like you resonate with, that you connect with, and let them guide you. We all need guidance. You can't get to that next step unless you see what that next step is. So get that guidance, and everyone deserves to be loved. And that's part of it, is like, you find that right mentor for you, they're going to have that connection with you too. And you're going to have that mutual love for each other that you can just grow together. And then once you're done with them, you guys will still be friends. You'll most likely still be buddies, because you guys resonate with each other, and you move on to that next one. that next community. And then you're just building yourself. You're building yourself a wonderful community and the wisdom that will help you grow through life.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And, that's really one of the reasons why we put together IAUSM, which is the International Academy of Universal Self-Mastery, because it is filled with mentors who are there and present to help you, or to help people who were in situations like you or like me when I was in my situation. So, thank you so much for sharing your passion. Thank you so much for sharing your chapter of your life with the world. And, when we think about what was the mission of the book, and the mission of From Bottom to Top is, especially since pandemic, suicide rates are through the roof. People are going through depression. Not everybody handles change very well. And, the way that we are connected to each other feel very disconnected.
Absolutely.
Even on an energetic level, I think we became more connected, but physically very disconnected. And,
Yes.
Suicide was already the biggest killer of teenagers. It was already there. And the numbers went up through COVID all over the world, not just from teenagers, but husbands who couldn't support their families anymore. Wives who didn't know how they were going to deal with their new family situation, or people that were now trapped at home with people that used to go to work every day who were very abusive to them. So now they were stuck at home with them 24/7. So there was, there's been a lot of change due to COVID. And the reason for us writing From Bottom to Top was to show the world that there's always a way out. There's you got in, you can get out. And even though it feels like there's nowhere to turn, you'll find it. Just be open to the possibilities. Always be open to all the possibilities. Because the minute you try to think, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, you're closing doors to possibilities. So
Yes.
Always make sure that everything is wide open. You may not know where it's coming from, but the one thing that I will say to you is I wake up every single morning, and the very first thing I say to myself is I am 100% committed to myself. I am 100% committed to myself. I have my back, and I am open to all the possibilities. So just those 3 statements every single day start my day in a way of I am ready for what's coming, the awesomeness that's showing up for me. And also that, and you'll hear me say this a lot, we always welcome the opportunities, but what we also want to welcome is the obstacles, because that's really what teach us things a lot. That's what we learn a lot from our obstacles. And not only do we learn a lot, but it's also usually shows up because it's helping us to get something out of our way that's been in our way to keep moving forward. So
Absolutely.
That obstacle is exactly that. It's an obstacle that we have to deal with. It will teach us something. Look forward to it because it's offering you some possibilities.
I appreciate my obstacles now that I've gotten older, and I hope to help other people realize how valuable they are. I've learned so much in such a short span of time from significant obstacles, what I felt were so awful at the time, so heartbreaking, so life-ending at the time. But I look back now and I'm so appreciative of my life. I'm alive. How many times did I really think I was going to die? But I'm alive. And now I have purpose. Now I'm not dealing with that anymore. I've healed that. And now I can help other people heal that. It's given me purpose. And I've learned, and I can go back into my past and think of all the obstacles I faced and see what I've learned from them. And I'm wow, that's incredible. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for giving me this wisdom that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So important.
It is so important. And thank you, Mila. And very well said. Very well said. So thank you, everyone, for listening. And thank you for joining us at I Got This, because I is the universal I. It's that united I. And it's not just me, and it's not just Mila, and it's not just you. It's all of us. And that is the I, because together we got this. I got this. So see you on the next episode. And thanks a lot.